what if I told you I decorated this cake using just one piping tip? I just had Paulette Goto, the cake queen herself, on my show Sprung on Foods. You should definitely check that episode out. And she said if she could only use one piping tip for the rest of her life, it would be this one. So I had to put it to the test. I started decorating my cake just simply by using some filling. I used a strawberry jam here, and this is a vanilla sponge cake, and showing you that, yeah, sometimes you got to be careful and it's fine. I then start the crumb coating process, which is essentially just putting a thin layer of frosting on to capture all those crumbs in there. And then we're going to put on our final frosting coat here. You have to make weird mouth movements to concentrate. It's just science. I move real slow when I do it, and then just scraping off those top layers to make a smooth top. Then we have here a nail, for lack of a better term, and I prepare it with a little piece of parchment that I stick on with some of the frosting, and we're making our rose here. I made a little bud to start, and then we're just overlapping each little layer so that it creates its own little petal. I'm using the tip with the pointy side up, the teardrop side down, and you can see the rose is starting to become made. The reason that I'm putting it onto this little parchment is so that you can take the parchment off of the nail afterward, place it onto a plate, and pop that into the fridge or the freezer, depending on how fast you need it to firm up, so that it can firm up and you can transfer it neatly onto your cake later. Isn't she so cute? That's our first little rose. I also made some roses in a different color off camera. And then we have to use the one tip. So I'm making a simple little border around the top and the bottom just to make everything cohesive. And then I froze the flowers. And so it's time to place those up on top like a little rose garden, then still using that same piping tip, putting on some nice little leaves there. You can see I'm using what's called a coupler. It's that plastic little ridge piece that you see there. And so that basically allows you to transfer the piping tip from bag to bag, different colors, without having to reset a whole piping bag. So there it is. We did it. One piping tip. What do you guys think?